Hi everyone, this is Shayanti bringing you yet another episode of Shayanti Fine Arts. Today's episode is dedicated to flowers. Now, I have had a very long run relationship with flowers. I have painted a lot of flowers. Just like birds, flowers have been in my paintings a lot, but typically they have been a part of my painting, they have been a part of the composition. And no matter in what different medium I've painted it, whether oils like you are watching now, or oil pastels, or watercolors, or acrylics, they have been parts of different paintings, parts of different compositions. I have never really painted actual flowers just for flower painting tutorials. I have very few actually, rather. So I decided that I am going to start a new painting series where I'm going to paint one flower every month. And I'm going to try and paint the national flower of different countries. So I'm going to start with the national flower of Ireland. Why Ireland? To start with, I don't know, just because I saw a Shamrock painting and I really liked it and I wanted to go with it. So yeah, that's why Ireland. So that's what today's painting tutorial is about. I'm going to show you how to paint an easy Shamrock flower painting with acrylic paints, and you could easily do it with oil paints or any other mediums as well. So that's what this painting is all about. Starting with the supplies, obviously we need acrylic paints. I am going to use quite a few different colors, but the colors are not really important. If you can mix and match and different other colors as well and get the similar effect. So acrylic paints is what you will need. Obviously paint brushes. I'm using water as my medium, so nothing else on that regard. And obviously you need a painting surface. In this case I am going to use a 4x6 canvas panel. This is a very cheap canvas panel, nothing big on it, and I'm going to also use a pencil and eraser for the initial drawing. For the initial drawing, you can see that I'm starting with two ovals, which are going to be the two Shamrock flowers, and quickly sketching them out. I used a very simple outline sketch from a reference photo just out of the internet, so I cannot share it because I do not have the copyright to it. But it's just a simple flower, so I do not see why we cannot paint that out of internet as well. Maybe some people will say that it's copyright infringement still and all of that stuff, but I don't see why not. So anyways, I am going into the painting now after the drawing, and you can see that I am painting a few leaves here and there. So the idea is that to paint the whole background outside of the flowers, around the flowers. Now, had it been a very big painting, I would have probably painted the background first and then painted the flowers on top of it. The reason being, acrylics dry pretty fast, so if there's a huge area that I need to cover and get nice blending on, then if I go around the subject, it gets pretty difficult. But this is just a 4x6 canvas panel. It's very small, so I went around the subject and it went on pretty well, so that wasn't a problem at all. So I guess size matters. This painting can be done very big as well. Like I would go up till 11x14, and that would look very pretty too. Some people do very giant paintings of flowers, like I've seen Angela Anderson and several other painters on YouTube do like really big canvases of flowers, like 16x20 or something like that, and they look really pretty too. But in this case, I would not recommend going anything beyond 11x14, because this flower itself is pretty tiny and it does not have a lot of details that you can do. If you were to paint like a rose or a cactus flower or lotuses, it's some flowers that has a lot of detail. Or even if in this painting also, if your reference photo showed a lot more detail, then you could go for an even bigger painting. Otherwise, I would recommend sticking to 11x14 at the most, but it is always up to you. So you can see that I did the very first layer of the background very sketchily, just put some colors in some areas. You can definitely see all the brush strokes in different areas, and it does not matter because I'm going to go over all of that with the second layer of paint. The first layer was just to kind of give a mapping of where I want to put what. And most of the shamrock leaves are kind of like, that clover leaf kind of look, but in this reference photo, the clovers were not really clearly visible, so I went with that original look in the reference photo, and that's why you do not see those clover shapes. My intention was just to paint a dark background so that it gives my light colored white flowers a real good pop, and that is all about the background. Just fix it and clean it up and get a nice dark background so that your flowers get a really good pop of color from the background, and that's where the contrast is hyped up and it will look very nice. On to the little flower buds. Most of it has a greenish yellow color, so I'm starting with a green color for the darkest shadows, and then in the lighter areas I'm using a very light yellow. And in the bigger bud on the left hand side, I'm also using a little bit of yellow ochre color. You can use like a blend of raw umber too, just to add some brown tint. Then I'm coming back with a blue shade, which is like a cobalt blue mixed with white. You can use any blue. The shade of blue will not make a lot of difference. You can use your ultramarine primary blue too. That will work just fine. Now you can see that I'm adding a lot of blue in the flowers itself. These are white flowers, so why I am painting them a gray blue color? Because I want to first put the dark shadows in, and then I'm going to create some white highlights. Now you can see that I am painting the whites and blending them in with the darker shadows. I'm letting some of the dark shadows stay though, and in the center of the flower I'm first putting some green shadows, and then I'm going to go over it with the yellow stamens. So I'm getting some more blues in the flower petals for the darks, and then I will again come back with whites and lighten some of it out. Doing this in two or three different layers not only adds more paint and thus makes it look more opaque, but also creates a lot of depth in each layer of paint that you put, and this makes it look more realistic. So the more realistic you want your flowers to look like, the more layers you should do to it. And still, even though you're doing many different layers, it's just a 4x6 painting and you're working with acrylics, it still work pretty fast. And I mean, no matter how slow you want to work with it, you will at the most spend 1 hour in this painting if you go this size. Obviously, if you go a little bit bigger, it will take a little bit longer. So that was the important part of this painting. It's very simple, very easy, at the same time very interesting, beautiful. Of course, any flower is beautiful in my opinion, and that was all about this tutorial. I'm trying to make more and more tutorials that are more relaxing and easy to paint than being complicated compositions. But complicated compositions will also come from time to time because those are something I really enjoy. So if you have any specific questions about any part of the painting or any information regarding the painting or the anything that I've used in the painting, although all of the materials are listed in the video description below, you can always ask me in the comment section, and definitely let me know what you think about this painting, or if you want me to do any particular video, anything you want me to paint, let me know in the comments. Your comments make me feel awesome. It motivates me to make more tutorials. So do connect with me in the comment section, and do stay on because I have a very, very important message to share with you. So give me a couple more minutes of your very, very valuable time because I have something really important to share with you.